In honor of today's Bridgerton release, I want to talk about the personal brand of Nicola Coughlan. Nicola is an Irish actress who has done all kinds of work from horror to drama to period pieces. I would describe Nicola's brand as funny, authentic, warm, and friendly. She has kind of a natural shyness sometimes in the way that she presents herself, but she has a quietly wicked sense of humor. She has become incredibly famous over the last few weeks as she rose to stardom through the Bridgerton press tour. She's been in Bridgerton since the beginning, but she was a side character, Penelope Featherington. This is the season where she becomes a main character, falling in love with Colin, and fans have gone crazy over the Pollen idea. Before this, she was really well known for doing Dairy Girls, which is a hilarious, almost slapstick, kind of filthy comedy. Because of the character that Nicola plays on Bridgerton, and simply because of her figure, she has been elevated as something of an icon in this body positivity movement. But one of the things I love about Nicola is she really hasn't embraced that. She has stayed true to herself, and one thing that she said was that my body is a tool I use to tell stories and not something I define myself by. In saying that, and in kind of living with this devil-may-care attitude about how she's represented on screen, how she's seen, apparently there's some nude scenes coming up, that she kind of defies the idea that I'm going to be a cause, right? She just simply says, this is just who I am. This is what I'm an actor, I'm a storyteller, and that is what I'm doing. I'm not trying to make a point, I'm not trying to start a movement. And I think in that way, the movement and the message is actually that much more powerful. She is, from a personal branding perspective, actually quite a mystery because she's very, very private about her personal life, which is something that I think a lot of actors need to do in order to safeguard their well-being. So that's a good thing. So I think a lot of times what we interpret as her personal brand is actually just an amalgam of the characters that she's played. At the end of the day, I think that her personal brand is about elevating the work. And so I think that there's really two takeaways. First is that it's okay for you to not share your life with the world. Personal branding does not equal trauma dumping or spilling your guts or being totally candid about everything you've ever done and eaten and kissed and loved and all of that. The second lesson is that just because you fit into a type doesn't mean that you have to be the figurehead for a cause. So it naturally follows a lot of times that people who look a certain way or have certain mannerisms or have certain proclivities or are born a certain way naturally fall into kind of these groups of people. I think that Nicola is a good example of someone who has said, sure, you can take all of the positive messages about, body and image and beauty and what all of that means, but that is just a tool for me. It's not who I am. And she's kind of resisted being put into that box, which I think is a really powerful element of her personal branding and the fact that she owns the narrative and nobody else. Who's watching tonight and what are we most excited about?